Israel and US's war on Iran has sparked global concerns centered around the Strait of Hormuz, which is a 33-kilometer wide waterway, which is critical artery of global oil trade. Now, Iran has choked Hormuz to pressure US and its allies in the region and beyond. Now, United States wants global powers to step in. President Donald Trump said in his Truth Social post, and I'm quoting him here, "Countries of the world that receive oil through the Strait of Hormuz must take care of that passage." The statement is in stark contrast to US President's earlier statement. Just a day earlier, Donald Trump said that US will start escorting oil vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. Listen to this.
Mr. President, when will the Navy start escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz?
Donald Trump has time and again said that he did not know Iran had so many naval vessels, followed by claims that US forces had decimated Iran's navy.
Look, we took out just about all of their mine ships in one night. We're up to boat number 60. I didn't realize they had that big a navy. I would say it was big and ineffective. But every one of their ships, just about all of their navy is gone.
In the latest, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has clarified that the Strait of Hormuz remains open to all ships except those of its US and its allies. When US President launched attack on Iran, global powers were caught off guard. Even the closest US allies had a little idea about what to expect from the war in Iran. From the mission objectives to claims of victory, Donald Trump's statement on war leave many questions unanswered. With Iran carrying out retaliatory strikes in the Persian Gulf, can other countries risk sending their navies without being part of the ongoing conflict? Or could a global naval coalition force Iran to step back from Hormuz and push it towards a peace deal with the United States? And to discuss more, joining us from Washington, D.C. is Dov Zakheim, former Undersecretary of Defense in George W. Bush administration and currently Senior Advisor at Center for Strategic and International Studies. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the broadcast.
Thank you.
Now, from your reading of the trajectory so far, are we looking at a prolonged conflict? And given the stakes which are involved, how long do you think this could realistically stretch from here on?
Well, obviously the conflict is already going on longer than I think the president and the American national security community thought it would. As the president himself acknowledged, he underestimated just the size of the Iranian force. And remember, this is the Iranian, the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy. That's in addition to the regular Navy, just like there's an IRGC Army in addition to the regular Army. The Iranians have quite a bit of capability, certainly enough to cause mayhem, which is what they're doing. Now, in terms of how long the war goes on, it very much depends. As long as we really don't have a full idea of what Iran has, and they've been surprising us each time we think that we've knocked out. I remember we said we knocked out 2,000 targets. Now we've talked about 15,000 targets. We don't know what they have in their tunnels, how many tunnels, how much equipment in those tunnels. There are a lot of question marks here. So to predict how long a war will go on, as I once recently quoted General Petraeus when he was talking about the war in Afghanistan, how does this end? We don't know how it ends.
Right, and the Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Saar said that the US and Israel will, not stop until the common goals are achieved. But just a day earlier, we also heard from Donald Trump for the first time about the divergence in objectives when it comes to the end game in Iran. Now, having said that, who do you think realistically holds the leverage to, rein the conflict in and bring it to an end here?
Oh, there's no question the United States holds the leverage. The Israelis right now are fighting on multiple fronts. They're fighting Hezbollah in Lebanon. They've moved further into Lebanon. They still are in Gaza. They are fighting in Iran. We don't even know when the Houthis will come in, if they come in, but the Israelis have to worry about that as well. So it's really the United States. If Mr. Trump decides that he wants to cut a deal, that he wants to pull out, whatever he decides, I don't think the Israelis will have much leverage at all. Remember that when the Houthis were firing on ships in the Red Sea, Mr. Trump decided that he would reach some arrangement with them without actually even telling Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, that this was going to happen. Without our firepower and our support, I don't see how the Israelis can go on for very long.
Right, noted, Mrs. Zakhaim. And we also understand that Iran has created this high endurance model. It's also been pegged as this race against time. And even though the United States has superior firepower, but we understand that this is again a battle of survivability, at least for Iran. Now, having said that, how long do you think Iran can sustain this war in the capacity and the capability that we're seeing right now? Or do you think the conflict is going to become untenable given the trajectory that we're seeing right now?
Well, it's hard to tell. I mean, partly because we don't know the internal dynamics in Iran. Will the army continue to stay out? Will the people somehow pull off some kind of revolt? I think that's part of the strategy so far, to keep pummeling Iran until the people decide they cannot go on any longer with this sort of government. It hasn't happened yet. On the contrary, it seems that more and more Iranians are rallying around a government they don't like. And remember too, for the IRGC and the leadership there, and of course their allies amongst the Ayatollahs, this is a fight to the finish because it's a matter of their survival and their control of the state. And frankly, I suspect they couldn't care less how many ordinary Iranians are killed. I mean, after all, thousands upon thousands were killed during the January riots. So it really comes down to what happens internally in Iran, and that's just unpredictable.
Right, of course, Mr. Zakhaim, we understand this is an evolving situation and there are still many variables which will have to fall in place before we can get a clear understanding if there is an off-ramp and what it would look like. But for now, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast and sharing your perspective with us.
Well, thank you for having me as always.